checkpoints into a single consolidated security checkpoint. That would hopefully allow, they say, for shorter wait times and connectivity between the concourses and an increased number of concessions. The project's expected to cost $220 million. Construction should begin next summer. A Cape Coral man involved in a deadly crash on Thanksgiving Day in 2017 is found guilty of vehicular homicide. Police say Kenneth Graves headed west on Veterans Parkway when his car lost traction, spun out, then slammed into an oncoming car and SUV. The driver of the car, Kenya Ojeda, died from her injuries. Investigators say Graves was driving recklessly. His sentencing is scheduled for August 12th. Graves could face up to 30 years in prison. All right, the most anticipated match so far of the Women's World Cup did not disappoint. Team USA prevailed over host country France to move a step closer to successfully defending its title. Megan Rapinoe was the match winner, scoring in each half to secure a hard-fought 2-1 win. They'll face England on Tuesday in the semifinals for the chance to return to the finals and defend their 2015 title. And you can watch it right here on Fox 4. The game's at 3, coverage beginning at 2. Check this out. An almost 14-foot jawbone believed to be from a right whale is now in a Florida museum. A boater spotted it on a barrier island off Florida's Atlantic coast. The bone was taken to the Florida Museum of Natural History in Gainesville. DNA tests are underway to determine if the bone is indeed from a right whale. There are only about 450 left in the world. Fish and Wildlife say it's a rare and unique discovery.
Doctors even thought that we weren't going to be able to take her home.
A little girl with a big fight ahead, how an organization's alleviating her family's expenses. Plus, working overtime. The volunteers who gave a disabled veteran in Florida a complete home makeover. And camp just isn't for the kids. Meet the Florida cat going to a special camp this summer. Watching Fox 4 News at 6. Derek?
And soaking rains continue across parts of Southwest Florida. More rain on the way for the weekend. Your forecast is coming up.
There are some safety concerns tonight for drivers due to the severe weather we're seeing across Southwest Florida. It even caused some cars to get stranded. We want to send it over right now to Anna Coles, who's live out on Fowler Street in Fort Myers with the very latest. Anna?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm in Fort Myers right now off of Fowler Street and Edison Avenue, and earlier the streets were completely flooded, but as you can see now, cars are driving. And if you look behind me here, the cars did have quite a struggle actually getting through this area. May not look like it now, but it was really bad. Cars were up to their headlights in water, and some were even stranded, but police now are saying that all stranded drivers are safe. But again, just a few minutes ago, the fire department and police blocked off the street between Hanson and Edison Avenue here, and they did tell me that it's still closed off as of right now. Cars are getting through, but as you can see down here, there are still some police cars trying to get people to find an alternate route. So just as a reminder, police are telling us not to use this road right now and to find an alternate route home. Live in Fort Myers, Anna Coles, Fox 4, in your corner.
Rain so much and so quickly in one area. Anna, thank you for that report. All right, a heartwarming story to end your week. With her birthday just before, little Talia had more surgeries than most people have in a lifetime. Alana Quillen explains how a Florida foundation's making sure she can still lead as normal a life as possible despite her medical condition.
4-year-old Talia may be small, but she has a big heart to make up for it.
She's got the biggest personality anyone has ever seen.
Despite her energy, almost 3 months ago, this little princess had a heart transplant.
Talia's always been the biggest fighter.
Her moms, Haley and Tori Kania, told me it's been a long journey since birth.
The left side of her heart did not grow while she was in the womb.
And at just 12 days old, she had her first heart surgery. Eventually, she was put on the heart transplant list. That means she spent most of her life in a hospital room.
There was not anything that Talia could do other than lay in the bed.
And with a newborn on the way at the same time as the transplant, Lori Griffith with Chasing a Dream Foundation stepped in to help.
Their finances are devastated trying to save their child.
Talia is one of dozens of sick children getting hospital care packages, including an iPad.
It was really crucial for the months that she spent in the hospital. She now is able to download learning games, not just cartoons.
With Talia back home, her journey is far from over. Her new heart may last at least 10 years. And she has to take 22 doses of medicine every day. But Talia will continue to receive support from the foundation.
It's amazing. Doctors even thought that we weren't going to be able to take her home.
No matter where her new heart leads her.
Even when we think that, things are going bad, she takes a turn for the better.
What a sweet girl. That was Alana Quillen reporting. The Chasing a Dream Foundation helps parents pay for life-changing surgeries that oftentimes cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, many of Florida's third graders are not reading at their grade level. This year's FSA exam shows only 30% are considered proficient. That means most third graders scored a 1 or 2 on their exams. So how do you help your kids? Educators say it's especially important for kids to continue reading over the summer while they're out of school so they don't fall further behind.
For students, I think reading is another way of traveling for them, imagining all these places that they can, and also creating that path or vision of where they can take themselves in the future.
So how do kids in Southwest Florida stack up? For students in Lee, Collier, Charlotte, and Glades County, most students scored a 3 on their third grade reading test. In Hendry County, most students scored either a 2 or a 3. And in DeSoto County, 35% of students scored a 1.
Makes me feel good that, there's this many people out there doing this for other people.
Home Depot employees in Florida stepped out of the store this week to help a veteran. Nearly 3 dozen employees volunteered their time to make over disabled Army veteran Corey Lehman's home. Lehman suffered a spinal injury during combat, now has to use a wheelchair and cane, and he also has post-traumatic stress. His wife, Heather, says simple things like new pantry shelves bring organization to their lives and will help reduce her husband's PTS triggers.
Realistically, it's life-changing as we have 4 young children and our life is constantly on the go.
The national nonprofit Operation Homefront helps military families and selected the Lehman family for this renovation. The Home Depot Foundation provided the volunteers and supplies. Volunteers did nearly $8,000 worth of renovations.
All right, looking back from this afternoon as we take a look at some of these photos here of that funnel cloud that occurred early this afternoon. Lee County under a tornado warning that was canceled before the 4:45 expiration. But you can see that those angry clouds there, and we didn't get official confirmation that this had touched the ground, which would officially make it a tornado. So even though you may be hearing that it was a tornado, nothing has been confirmed. It's not official. It's a funnel cloud, and that's what we'll call it at this point. But either way you look at it, a pretty picturesque scene for some folks that were making their way out and about this afternoon in the storms. Here's a live look at our Storm Smart Sky Cam tonight. This is from the Best Western waterfront. Looking into downtown Fort Myers and the Caloosahatchee Bridge, you can see traffic is moving slowly. It's not as heavy as it was coming out of Fort Myers earlier, but it looks like the roads are still a little bit wet out there. We're tracking some light to moderate rain across the region. The heaviest storms, though, appear to be pushing farther inland, and this is where some of the areas have not seen rain today. We call this when the atmosphere gets worked over. When you have these storms and they use up all the heat energy in the atmosphere, you probably notice how much cooler it is outside now that it's been raining. Well, all that heat and humidity is the energy these storms need to keep themselves going. And they tend to migrate where that heat and humidity remains. And that's what we're seeing now along Highway 29 from LaBelle down towards Immokalee. And the darker reds now extending from Ave Maria and Orange Tree back westward towards I-75, Bonita Springs. Storms now firing up to the north of Clewiston. These are going to continue moving into Glades County. Just to the east of Moorhaven. And last but not least, in the southwestern Collier County, we're tracking some of this rain here that continues to make its way into Naples, although it does not look like it is nearly as heavy as it was. And Of course, last but not least, I should say, for Charlotte County, still some light rain up into Sarasota County as well around Northport. Notice how much cooler it's gotten. 70s where it's been raining, still into the 80s a little farther inland. And I do think that if we're going to see any more stronger storms, they will likely be in these areas here that still have not cooled down into the 60s and 70s yet. But the rest of us, though, are just going to be cloudy and wet, at least for another couple of hours. If you have any evening plans, maybe going out to dinner with the family this evening, or perhaps maybe you want to run a couple of errands here this evening, it looks like you'll need to keep the umbrella at least handy for another couple of hours. The rain, though, should gradually wind down. But tomorrow, looking a little bit on the wet side, especially during the afternoon, as a result of this feature right here. This is a trough of low pressure. And notice all the clouds and rain associated with it over the Bahamas. We're going to get in on some of this tomorrow. So as a result, temperatures tomorrow will be cooler. There will also be a little better chance for rain. Now, I'm not necessarily expecting angry thunderstorms like we've seen this afternoon. We'll see a few, but I do not expect them to be as energetic tomorrow because we probably are not going to have as much sunshine and the heat to build up through the afternoon, so there probably won't be as much energy for them to work with. So here's a look at predictor. Storms moving offshore and weakening here later on tonight, so by midnight we should be drying out. Tomorrow we'll start off the morning with partly cloudy skies, then quickly becoming mostly cloudy through the afternoon with scattered showers and storms. They're going to be pretty widespread, especially for areas along and east of I-75 and for inland areas. Sunday, chance for rain is there. It's not going to be as high as on Saturday, but we'll see about a 40% probability for rain. Temperatures back to around 90 degrees for highs with those storms developing during the afternoon with the sea breeze. Tonight, 75, chance for rain in the evening, drying out overnight. Skies will remain mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, 87. We'll have some sunshine, but not as much sunshine as we're going to see here later in the weekend and into next week. So it'll be a little cloudier tomorrow than the next few days. Here's a look at your Ingman Marine forecast for tomorrow. Seas 2 feet, southeast winds at 10 knots, inland waters a light chop. 7-day forecast, chances for rain, 60% tomorrow, down to 40% on Sunday, 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Heading towards the 4th of July, though, we get back to a typical summertime pattern with lower chances for rain, 20% probability for Thursday and highs in the low 90s.
All right, that'll be good for the holiday. Thank you, Derek. She's got the power. We're introducing you to the woman who's proving you're never too old to lift heavy. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6. There is a Missouri grandmother who gives new meaning to the phrase golden years. 81-year-old Shirley Webb can deadlift 265 pounds. She's won 17 weightlifting medals, a powerlifting world record, and 3 national records. And this is all just 3 years after she first joined a gym.
When I first joined, I could not climb steps unless I held on both hands and pulled myself up.
What an inspiration. I have no excuse anymore. Webb is in training for a national competition near Chicago later this year. Oh, check this out. It's a picture of a car engulfed in insects. Huge swarms of mayflies flocked to northeast Ohio's lakeshore, resulting in the blankets of bugs. The swarm was so dense, it was actually picked up on a local news station's weather radar. Mayflies are actually harmless, and they only live for a couple of days.
You could see he was turning red and losing pigmentation in his face.
Not all heroes wear capes. How a fast food worker went above and beyond to save a child in the drive-thru.
We were supposed to be paid today, but nobody got direct deposit.
Why an assisted care facility worker says management's not only having trouble making payroll, but also putting the residents' safety at risk. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
An assisted living facility in Punta Gorda isn't paying their employees on time. That's according to one of those workers who's talking to Fox 4. And as 4 in Your Corner's Car 48 tells us, the employee at the Palms of Punta Gorda says she's not only concerned about being able to pay her bills, but she worries for the care of the elderly living there due to other employees walking off the job.
Everybody, including myself, is already hurting.
This woman, who insisted on remaining anonymous, says times have been tough for her and her co-workers at the Palms of Punta Gorda assisted living facility. She says their paychecks haven't been too steady.
We got paid 2 weeks ago late, And then this week, we are supposed to be paid today, but nobody got direct deposit.
And she says management is behind on paying more than their wages.
They're not paying their lights, their food, their nurses' supplies, so things like diapers and wipes and things like that.
She says some of the other workers have quit and says while her bank account runs low, she's staying out of a sense of obligation to care for the folks who need help at the Palms.
And when you don't have the staff to accommodate that, then obviously it's negligence. Many of our employees do care about the residents, but at the same time, the care only goes so far.
When I reached out to the Palms, I was told the administrator was the only one who could answer any questions and that she was unavailable.
They say that we should be there for the residents and that alone, that everything else will eventually work itself out.
The Agency for Healthcare Administration lists the owner of the Palms as a company called Drive Management, but the agency's link to a company website was parked on GoDaddy.com with no contact information. Now I reached out to the Agency for Healthcare Administration to see if they have any concerns for the welfare of the people living here at the Palms due to employees getting paychecks late. I'm still waiting to hear back. In Punta Gorda, Carl Fortier, Fox 4, in your corner.